Welcome to Porto. If you're heading to Porto, you can either fly into their airport or you can take a Flixbus, which is what we did from Sintra. This was such an affordable way to get to the northern part of Portugal. I think it was only $12 a person, and that's only because we paid extra to sit in the very front row. So highly recommend grabbing that bus if you're coming from the Lisbon or Cascais area up to Porto. Haven't been in Porto for like an hour and we're already getting our workout in. It is steep. Just got in a little while ago, grabbed a bus from Sintra. In a couple hours we were in a beautiful Porto. So first thing we did, dropped our bags and headed up to the Porto tourism office where we picked up our Porto cards, which if you watch my Lisbon video, which is linked down in the description box, it works about the same way. You get access to the public transportation. You also get free and discounted admission to some of the attractions and museums and different sites in Porto. So since we were right next door, we decided to check out the Porto Cathedral first thing, which you do get a little discount with the Porto card in the cathedral. So we're gonna go pop in there and see where the rest of our day takes us. The Porto Cathedral is the most important religious building in the city, and it has been declared a national monument. It's situated in the upper part of Porto. Construction on this church began in the 12th century, and it was completed in the 18th century. The inner rooms are filled with art and various relics, and everything is so incredibly opulent. You can also see some examples of beautiful azuelo tiles throughout the cathedral, which I think was my favorite part. These are some steep stairs for sure. Of course, climbing to the top of the tower will give you one of the best views in all of Porto. You can see everything from up here. Started to get hungry for lunch, so we wandered over to the Rua dos Flores, which is one of the main streets in the historic center of Porto. It was where our hotel was located, and there's tons of great cafes and shopping on this street. So we just got our lunch, and apparently I have to eat it very carefully because the guy at the table next to us, a seagull just came and literally swooped down and grabbed one of his pieces of tuna right off his plate. So I'll fight you, seagulls. Time to kill before our first tour, so we headed down to the Zorro Riverfront to do a little people watching. We definitely spent a lot of time down here just relaxing and taking in the view. It's definitely a fun place to come hang out. One thing I observed in Porto is their buskers are on another level. They all seem to be so talented, and they were just everywhere. I don't know if it was because it was a holiday and so there was more of them out, but I just felt like there were so many buskers everywhere performing all over the city the entire time we were there, and I was definitely into it. They took all my euros. Our first tour of our time in Porto was at the Palácio da Bolsa, which has been the location of the stock exchange in Porto since it was built in the 19th century. You must book a tour in advance before you come here, which costs €12 per person and it lasts 30 minutes. You'll get to see several incredible rooms and learn all about this building's importance in Porto's commerce. My favorite part of the tour was towards the end in the Arab room. My little action camera is not doing the beauty of this architecture justice. Finally, it was time for us to check into our hotel, Casa de Campania. This is a beautiful 5-star luxury hotel that is located right on Rua dos Flores in the heart of Porto's historic center, so it's really so walkable to all the sites you'll want to see. This 18th century building has been beautifully restored and every element feels like the perfect blend of chic modern elegance combined with historical charm. And they really have some incredible luxury amenities here. Just got checked into a really gorgeous room. Show you all around. I'm loving all the gold fixtures. Looks really modern and pretty. The bathroom definitely felt very luxe and it had ample light for putting makeup on, and I loved the shower with the rain shower feature. There's the bed. All the mirrors all over the walls. It's a very fun touch, I guess. The view though. Perfect view of the Porto Cathedral that we just went and visited. Took a short walk over from our hotel to the Sao Bento station. This is a national landmark here in Portugal, and they have all these beautiful examples of the blue and white painted tiles all in the station. It's really beautiful. It is a train station, so people are coming and going, catching their trains, but definitely you have to come here to check out how stunning the interior of this train station is. It's probably the prettiest train station I've ever seen.
It's just Saturday.
Saturday's the day to mock Jessica. Great.
Oh, well, it's not Sunday. Maybe on Sunday I'll give you a day off.
Great, that's tomorrow. I look forward to it. We wandered around a little bit. We're back at our hotel because apparently on Saturdays and Wednesdays they open a bottle of port wine with fire. I'm not sure how that works. I want to know how it works. I'm sitting here very patiently, waiting for the show to begin.
In 1756, the travels were so long that we need something to preserve the wine. And what we do is add some sugar at our wine, the aguardente vinica. It's like a Portuguese brandy. By this way that we created the port wine. Technical, it's used to open the vintage port. What is more probably to happen is the cork will be very damaged. And if you try to open with the cork crew, probably will destroy the cork. We created this technical to open the bottle and don't have cork.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And here you have.
Wow. Okay, so not exactly using fire per se, but definitely heat to just open up the neck of the bottle to avoid getting cork in an older bottle of port. But definitely a really cool demonstration. They also showed us how to make these amazing dark chocolate truffles.
And now the healthy part. We take 300 grams of dark chocolate.
Spoiler alert, the truffles were amazing and they paired so perfectly with this port wine. Fun fact, did you know on port wine glasses there's a little indentation on the stem, which is where your thumb is supposed to rest, and by doing that it basically places the glass in the perfect place for your nose to be able to get all the aromas of the wine so you can fully taste all the flavors. On our way to dinner, we stumbled upon the Carmel Church, which has a stunning exterior covered in traditional hand-painted azuelos tiles. We didn't get to go inside as it was closed, but it's definitely worth a visit to see the tiles and the interior that features golden woodwork and a 1-meter wide house that separates the actual two churches here that were originally meant to separate the nuns and the monks that lived here side by side. If you're a wine lover, you definitely have to check out Mind the Glass while you're in Porto. They serve over 600 bottles by the glass here. The vibe is really cool and modern, yet cozy. The food is delish, and the service was super friendly. We just ordered 2 glasses, but they left the bottle. He said 2 glasses, and then we said yes, and he was like, okay, here's the bottle. The pitch of the street is really steep and it's like really uneven, so after a couple glasses of wine, well, just a little treacherous, but we're almost there.
It's a super aggressive seagull.
This seagull does not give up.
He's been here since we... Like when we left for dinner, he was in here eating.
That seagull was probably the same seagull that swiped that guy's
aggressive
tuna
seagull
earlier.
Aggressive seagull of Porto. Watch out for him. So if you ever come to Porto, there's a seagull that's just running around stealing food. Yeah.
Keep your head on a swivel when you're eating food here. This is one thing I absolutely love about being in Europe in the summertime. It stays light out for so late. It's literally 9 o'clock at night, and it's basically still daylight outside, which really gives you so much more time to explore the city and enjoy. Even though it is peak season, that is definitely a perk of the summer. A gorgeous view off of our balcony. We're just gonna get ready for bed and get ready for a really fun Douro Wine Valley cruise that we have coming up in the morning. So I'm gonna sign off, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. Today we're taking a little day trip excursion with Get Your Guide to the Douro wine region. So we got up bright and early and jumped on a bus from Porto, and they're going to take us all around the Douro region. We're going to go to several different wineries, do some wine tasting, we're going to have some lunch, and we are going to go on a little boat tour, so it should be a really fun day. So of course the link to this will be down in the description box if you're interested in booking it yourself. If you're visiting Porto, you definitely want to give yourself an extra day to be able to do a day trip out to the Douro wine region. It is just a beautiful, stunning place, and you get to learn so much about the making of port wine and really get to see just a different area of Portugal, which is absolutely breathtaking. The tour that we took was so much fun, and I have a full video that I will have dedicated to this that you can find in the description box if you want to see what the total experience was like. But this was through Get Your Guide, and they have so many great tours that you can opt to do in Porto. I will definitely leave links to some of my favorites down in the description box. In total, this tour took about 10 hours, and it was a very jam-packed, fun-filled day.
Come on.
After freshening up from the day, we walked over to Livraria Lello to check it out before closing time. This bookstore is considered to be one of the most beautiful bookstores in the world, and it's commonly thought to have inspired J.K. Rowling to create the Harry Potter series, though she has since denied that claim. That being said, it definitely has a very Harry Potter-like quality. It really is so unique and beautifully designed inside, but very crowded. To enter, you must buy tickets in advance online, and I highly suggest picking a time that is near to closing time, as the line of people trying to come in seems much shorter then. A regular entry ticket costs around 5 or 6 euros, and you can buy a priority entry ticket that includes the purchase of a book that's around 15 euros that supposedly gets you in a little faster, though I really don't know that to be true because we just picked the regular ticket. If you want pictures on this beautiful staircase, just know it's almost impossible to get them without a bunch of other people in your shot. But nonetheless, an incredible bookstore to come and check out and see firsthand. Just be warned that there's going to be a ton of people in here, probably no matter when you visit.
Just got out of Livaria. If that's how you say it, I really hope it is. Couldn't tell you. Portuguese is hard for me. It's a struggle. But we got the ticket in advance. We did the ticket that's like €5, and you don't get priority entry, but we didn't need it because we went right at 7. Is the last time slot that they allow you to enter. And we thought maybe that would be the smart thing to do because we figured maybe there'd be less people in there. It was still kind of a mess.
One thing that you definitely can't miss when you're visiting Portugal is to catch a fado show. We happened to find this cafe, which also serves dinner before the show, and was the only place I could find that had a fado show on a Sunday night. So if you're here and you only have Sunday to see a show, definitely check this place out. As far as the food goes, it was okay. This place is definitely kind of touristy. I definitely recommend grabbing a table here about an hour before the show starts. That way you can order your food and enjoy it before they pause service for the show to start. Fado, which translates to fate in Latin, is a genre of music that is a huge part of Portuguese culture. This music is melancholic and reveals the passion in the Portuguese disposition, evoking a despairing belief in a futile destiny filled with pining and hopelessness. Sounds kind of depressing, but it's actually really beautiful.
Wouldn't know the words if I tried, but
Our last and final day, not only here in Porto, but in Portugal. I'm a little sad, but it's a gorgeous sunny day outside. I'm so ready to go out and explore Porto for our last day here and just take advantage of this gorgeous day and soak in this beautiful city. Gotten a lot accomplished in the first 2 days here in Porto. Everything is extremely walkable from this hotel. It's really easy to get around on foot and see a lot of the major sites in a short period of time here, which is really nice. But I think we may venture across the river to check out that view, maybe just do a little bit of wandering. The Porto Cathedral is letting me know it's 11 o'clock, so I'm gonna get myself together. I'm gonna get out and see some more of this city. Porto does have a metro system, but we really only used it once to get across the river, and even then we still could have walked the bridge and it wouldn't have taken that long. After a short ride, we found ourselves in Vila Nova de Gaia, which is the area on the other side of the Douro River. The Monastery of Serra do Pilar is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and definitely worth checking out for the view alone. It seemed like the church itself was closed the day we were there, so we didn't get to go inside, but the inside of the church is notable for its circular design, so definitely go in and check it out for me when you go. Okay, so we're up here at the monastery. They say it's one of the best views. A lot of people recommend to come up here during sunset because it's just stunning from up here. We decided, since it's on the other side of town from where we're staying, we'd come up and check out this side of the river first. To change things up, we did walk across the bridge to get back to the other side of town, though I feel like it would have been a lot more streamlined walking wise if we would have taken the metro instead.
Steep. Like even more than Lisbon, Porto's definitely a lot steeper. I think Porto wins. I'm in shape, and I feel like my legs, after 3 days of being here, are definitely feeling it. And I do not skip leg day. So that's saying something.
On the recommendation of a local gentleman we met at the monastery, we headed to see the Church of St. Francis, which I can see why he insisted we have to see this church. The interior made my jaw drop. All the Baroque-style Portuguese gilt woodwork is absolutely incredible. It's said that over 300 kilos of gold dust were used to decorate this church's interior. When this church was considered so lavish in comparison to the poverty that surrounded it that it was closed for several years. Right below the church, you can visit the crypts, which were where the wealthy families from Porto's past were buried. My mom's side is Portuguese, and some of our family comes from Porto, so my mom told me to look out for Souzas and Santos. That's some names in our family, and Mom, if you're watching, I think I found some.
There's dead bodies down there. We're gonna leave. Everybody walking by, gotta be real. Walked past and I was like, oh my god. Okay, yeah, let's go.
You go across the river, they have a bunch of wine tasting places over there. But we did a lot of wine tasting yesterday.
Zorro's where it's at.
Next on our agenda was visiting the Crystal Palace Gardens, which are at the top of the hill. There's really no good public transportation way to get up there, so you just gotta kind of hike up to the top of Porto, but you will be given this spectacular view and this beautiful garden. Now, this is the Crystal Palace. This used to be the real Crystal Palace, which is no longer there, but this big dome-like building is what currently stands, and they have a lot of concerts and shows that happen in there, but what you really want to come up here for is just to see these really beautiful and serene gardens and see the peacocks. Between the roosters and the peacocks. It's pretty noisy in this garden. The peacocks, however, were a little aggressive that day.
Oh, he better not. Not today, Satan.
You know what? I'm leaving. Run away! It's following us still. I wish I got that on camera. That thing really came for you.
I was like, I didn't even do anything.
We made it out of the peacock situation alive. Remember what I said yesterday about the line for Livario Lello? This is what it looked like in the middle of the day the next day. No thanks. After all the walking we had already done today, we needed some sustenance. So we stumbled upon this little pizza place that was super delicious and had some really great cocktails as well. I know pizza isn't really the most Portuguese thing to eat, but we loved it. It smells so good. We're gonna head to the Clergios Church and go up the tower. We're gonna go see a really cool projection light show in the church. So we have to hike up some hills again.
Holy.
Probably one of the most iconic spots in all of Porto is the Clergios Church with its 75-meter tall bell tower.
Wow, these are really narrow. Going up to the top of the tower.
Right up at the top. Probably one of the best views in the city. It's high. Woo. Look at this view.
Made it to the top of the tower. It was a climb. So prepare yourself. They give you a warning right at the top saying, oh, here's this water dispenser. Buy some water.
We did it.
It's a long climb, and when you think you're there, you're not there yet. Just because you see the light doesn't mean you're there.
Also, kind of claustrophobic too.
The view's worth it.
Going down. Oh my god. I have big feet. This is hard.
I definitely recommend coming and climbing the Clergios Tower closer to the evening so that you can get a ticket to the Spiritist show, which they do inside of the church. They use this amazing mapping and light projection to create a visual show unlike anything I've ever seen before. This was about 11 euros per person, and it's a separate ticket from climbing the tower. Check out at least one craft cocktail bar when I visit a different city, and to cap off a full day of sightseeing, we went to the Curioso cocktail kitchen, which has some really cool and interesting cocktails on their list and a very nice, chill, loungy space.
Really good.
It's like summertime.
Summertime in a glass.
That has been a very fun-filled 3 days here in Porto. I hope you all enjoyed the video and it gave you some fun ideas of things you can do while you're visiting this beautiful city. If you haven't checked out my other Portugal vlogs, make sure to check the description box or somewhere over here, and hit the subscribe button if you love to watch travel vlogs, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!